I'm Allendale's chief meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your mid-session, midday weather update. And the best way that I can look to start off this forecast is just to say, the snowmongers are coming. The snowmongers are coming. Over the past 6 hours or so, I've heard more and more people talk about snow flying all the way down into northwest and northern parts of Illinois. Oh my goodness, it's going to snow. It's horrible. It's cold. Yeehaw, off we go. Here's the deal. It is going to be chilly. Yes, without a shadow of a doubt, it will be. I'm looking for temperatures to dip into the upper half of the 30s, so probably 36, 37, 38 degrees down to I-80 in Iowa and across into northern parts of Illinois. It will be cool overnight tonight. How cool it gets, though, is going to depend almost 100% entirely on what the cloud mass does. I think we're in another scenario here where clouds are going to dictate. The clouds are going to dictate what temperatures want to do. The only thing that's going to be different this time around than, 3 weeks ago when we were talking about the frost threat and we were talking about clouds making or breaking it, is the winds are going to make it feel nasty. So even if the clouds are out, and even if we do keep temperatures, let's say everybody stays at 40 degrees, okay? Let's just say there's no 30s anywhere down across Iowa and across northern Illinois. It's going to be a scenario where you step out the door, and if you're walking straight into a 15, 20, 30-mile-an-hour wind, it's going to feel really flipping cold. No doubt about it. We're going to be seeing temperatures feel like they're down in the lower part of the 30s. Now, does that kind of feel temperature, some would even call it the wind chill, of course, does that matter to plant life? Not really, not necessarily. But it's going to be one of these scenarios where it feels a lot colder than it is. Now, can we see snowflakes? That's the question. I mean, I've heard everybody talk about this. All right, let's be truthfully honest. If there is a little bit of moisture that wants to linger in the atmosphere across southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, into extreme northeastern Iowa, yeah, I suppose we could see a snowflake or two. Because with temperatures dipping down into that 37, 38 degree range, you've got temperatures farther up aloft that are going to be below freezing. Yeah, we can see a snowflake or two come together. Now, do I realistically see this being a big issue? No, I do not. As a matter of fact, I think that the atmosphere is going to be fairly devoid of moisture during the overnight period. The only thing that might change that is going to be if you're in close to the lakes. Of course, you can pick up a little bit of moisture enhancement there. But again, I think all the talk of snowflakes is a headline grab at this point in time. It is a major, major headline grab. It is not a big story. What is the big story? Well, I look at it this way. I think the growing season comes to a complete end in parts of North Dakota, northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin tonight. I don't think we're just talking about frost. I think we're talking about hard freeze. I'm looking for temperatures to dip to about 28 degrees or so in the Red River Valley in North Dakota. Temperatures are going to be at or below freezing over a good chunk of North Dakota. And these are areas that got toasted already. Into South Dakota, we can see that. Temperatures across the northern half of Minnesota are going to be in that 32 to 28 degree range. So we're definitely going to be seeing that. And then I think the story from there is, you know what, while Iowa and Illinois and the Corn Belt on the whole kind of bounces back out of this cold air push after one night, I see those temperatures up in those areas, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, I'm seeing us stay in the middle half of the 30s, or the middle to upper half of the 30s, for about 4, 5, 6 nights straight here. So we are definitely seeing cold air advance southward. Now, this is also the exact time of year that you would expect that, and even these frosty days up there that we're talking about tonight into tomorrow morning, this is pretty much par for the course. It's not that far away from normal. But it is going to be a story, I think. The growing season should be done as of tonight in North Dakota and a good chunk of northern Minnesota. Where do we go from here? Well, cool air definitely rules the roost through the next few days. The latest model imagery into us doesn't show anything out there that makes me want to change my mind with regard to the coolness. Yeah, temperatures averaging below normal through the weekend and through the first half of next week. The cool air tries to retreat as we go into Tuesday. Doesn't make it very far north, though. It's still, like we said, parks over the Great Lakes, upper Midwest. And this is what we're seeing here, too. The strong low that's associated with these fronts right now. It's all the way up in Ontario, pushing toward Hudson Bay. You know, have you ever spun a top and watched what happens, it's spinning a nice tight spin. It's really good. It's really strong. But as it gets toward the end of the spin of its life, it starts to wobble a bit more. I'm actually seeing that happen now. Seeing this low up in Canada wobble a bit, so it might actually back the truck up, get back into Western Ontario, Eastern Manitoba, and spawn yet another front that tries to rotate through Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. So I'm going to keep my eye on some scattered light moisture across the Corn Belt in that time frame, Tuesday, Wednesday. I guess I'm not looking for any more than a quarter of an inch or so, but after some of the rain totals that we've had out there, 1.5 to 1.5 inches in general, and then the gloom and doom scenarios where we've heard 3 inches of rain, and I actually even heard a 7-inch report in downstate Illinois. So some heavy rains out there. We're trying to get back into the field, get harvest done. Quarter of an inch on Tuesday, not going to help the process much there. So this is something to kind of look at, especially when we're looking at the cooler temperatures kind of limiting evaporation overall. Now, the GFS model continues to just do one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, and that is take a Pacific hurricane, not just recurve it to the east, northeast, which, can happen, but it's rare. But not only is it doing that, the GFS wants to take said hurricane from Baja California Tuesday morning and take it straight to Kansas City by the time we get to Friday morning. That is not going to happen. It will not happen. What we need to look for here is actually an advancing frontal boundary from the northwest that tries to bring some moisture into the central plains and deals with that as we go through the end of next week. And then we are still looking at the potential for a fairly significant frontal boundary from the 14th through the 16th coming through the plains and then meandering through the Midwest as well. We're definitely looking at this being one that could put down 1 to 2 inches of rain. So it really looks to me like even though there are windows in between precipitation, the windows are getting tighter, getting smaller here as we go through November, which adds to and leads to more thought process of this harvest being one that seems to get kind of strung out, drug out over a longer period of time. That's what we've got in your forecast update at midday. If you've got any questions, give us a call at Allendale. Have a great weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.